Belfast again. Belfast and average of Belfast, which means that most important. Over time, it has been anglicised from Belfast to Belfast. Directly ahead of the bottom of the street, you have the Old Memorial Clock Tower. Tilting 4.5 feet to the right side, the reason it does so is that it's handled from the river and has actually been sinking into the river below since construction. Built on the spot where we are pouring step over step on first visiting Belfast after coming to the road. These are the perfect locations for the construction of a memorial to your husband, Prince Edward. Next on the left-hand side, now folks, you have here the Albert Clock. Put on the right-hand side, you will have McHugh's Bar. McHugh's Bar is the whitewashed building coming up here on the right. It opened its doors in 1911, making it one of the oldest bars. The oldest bar in Belfast, however, will be white since 1630. To the left-hand side, that's the Belfast Pleasance House, designed by the same architect as Queen's University, that will be Sir Lawrence Lyon. That's looking ahead of us on the left, you will have a large blue ceramic sign. It stands at the side of the river, commemorating the regeneration of the Versailles area. Each scale on the picture represents a different theme from around Victoria Belt, and it stands at the top of the river Force and empties into the river. You open the city with a lot of imagination as the big fish. We'll make our way across the river into the east of the city. We're heading over to the shipyard at Harland Wolf, now known as the Titanic Quarter.
We're now making our way across River Line here, folks, on the Quillis Bridge. Up to the right-hand side, you've the round building with dome on top. It is the waterfront hall. Held back in the 1990s, around the same time the Troubles ended, seen in Belfast for that reason, a symbol of the new peaceful Belfast. We're now going to take left here onto Queen's Quay. Back across over to the left-hand side, you would have the tall glass building. That will be the Oval. It's the tallest building in Ireland, and it has a record in every single apartment in it, sold in less than 8 hours, the fastest property sale in Europe at the time. Next on the left-hand side now, you have Northern Ireland's Millennium Project, the Odyssey. Meet up with the Odyssey Pavilion and the Odyssey Arena. The pavilion is an entertainment complex of bars, restaurants, clubs. It's got 2 cinemas, a bowling alley, etc. Then attached to that you have the 14,000 capacity ice hockey arena, home to the Belfast Giants ice hockey team. Given that the Belfast Giants have only a few players that are actually from the side of the Atlantic, they tend to be known in Belfast as the Yankee Regents, which is a little bit bizarre. The majority of them are actually Canadian. As well as that, folks, it's interesting to hear the several names that were proposed for the Belfast Giants. One of the names proposed, but thankfully not chosen when you consider the history of the city, was the Belfast Bombers. We're now going to take a left here into the Titanic Quarter. This is the largest developed site in Europe at the moment. When it is completed, it will be home to 50,000 people, and 20,000 people will work here. It's been compared to Belfast's version of London's Canary Wharf. When completed, you'll have a Titanic museum, a £400 million life-size replica of the Titanic. You'd also have Belfast World Trade Centre, an international financial services centre, a campus of the Belfast Metropolitan College, and a campus of Queen's University. You also have the Northern Irish Archives, 14 hotels, several restaurants, shopping centres and bars. In total, the entire development here is due to cost £20 billion. You'd have roughly another 16 years of construction to take place. Coming up on the left side, folks, you will have you'll have the SS Nomadic. The SS Nomadic was a tender ship to the Titanic. It brought passengers from Cherbourg in France to Titanic as outside Southampton. It's back in Belfast being completely restored by the shipyards that built it over a century ago. It's now the last surviving ship of the White Star Line. That's it, third to your left. Next on the left-hand side, folks, this is the Belfast Titanic Museum. It's going to open its doors at the end of March in time for the centenary of the sinking of the ship in April. Now to the left-hand side, the old Harland Wolf headquarters where the Titanic, the Olympic, the Titanic, the SS Nomadic, the HMS Belfast, the Canberra, and many other famous Belfast ships were designed. The Olympic were built side by side. That's where the Titanic was launched from. Coming up next on the left hand side you would have this large building. This is the Paintball Studios. Originally constructed for the Wolf, it now belongs to the Northern Ireland Film and Television Committee. It's home to the largest film stage in the world, and it's in there that they're currently filming the second series of A Game of Thrones. That will be home box office or HBO. Ahead of us on the left hand side there you have the HS Caroline. It's a World War I battle cruiser. It is actually the last surviving ship in the Battle of Jutland, the First World War. It's here in Belfast as the headquarters of Sea Cadets and the Royal Naval Reserve. This will be the stop of the Thompson Dry Dock and the Titanic Pump House. The dry docking with the Titanic was completed, the pump house being home to exhibits on the history of shipbuilding in Belfast. Over to the left hand side now you have the two famous gantry cranes known as Samson and Goliath. Samson are to the left and back is the world's tallest gantry crane. You then have Goliath to the left and forward. The two cranes standing over what's still to this day the world's large dry dock. When the Titanic was built here in Belfast, the Harland Wolf shipyards were the largest and most productive shipyard in the world. They held that title on and off between 1860 and 1960. They were at their largest however back in 1918 when they had a workforce of 36,000 men. At the same time as that there was another shipyard in Belfast called Workman Clark. They had a workforce of 14,000 and were the world's second largest and most productive shipyard. Throughout the 1920s and 30s, the city of Belfast had roughly 50,000 men working in shipbuilding, producing 20% or during the Second World War. The city produced a third of the UK's warships and repaired 22,000 vessels for the British Royal Navy and the American Navy, still a record to this day. Given the extensive decline of nearly every industry in the city during the Troubles, today's shipyards only employ several hundred. Today they build wind turbines, sea turbines, oil platforms and bridges. One of the largest heavy engineering outfits in the UK and Ireland, at the forefront of renewable technology. Tonight, folks, we are going to make our way out of the Titanic Quarter. We're going to head out onto the Centre bypass as we make our up towards the Harland buildings in Stormont. For those folks that just joined us, good and welcome to Belfast Open Top Tours. I'm your guide today. My name is Stephen. Your driver is Davey. At any point you have any questions or requests, don't hesitate to ask. Remain in your seats throughout the tour for the sake of your own safety and refrain from any conversations throughout the tour for the benefit of all of our customers. If you'd like to stop at any point in the tour, we're more than happy to stop anywhere where it's practical and safe. Just ring the bell and make your way downstairs, holding on to handrails, etc. as you go. We're going to leave Titanic Quarter here. We're heading out onto the Sydenham bypass, which will bring us quickly up to Harland buildings. On the way up the bypass, we're going to pass by the Oval Football Ground, the home of Belfast City Centre. We'll also pass by Victoria Park and George Best Belfast City Airport, the smaller of Belfast International Airports. We'll get to the top of the bypass. It's then I'll tell you about the history of this, but until that point, I'll give your ears a rest. I'd also like to point out this is a fast road that we're heading out onto. There are traffic lights on it. We might have to stop suddenly, so it's of the utmost importance that you remain in your spot. I'd also like to point out, for those that are sitting outside, this part of the trip can get a bit windy. Make sure you're holding on to anything that can blow away. Okay folks, as you can see there ahead of us to the right, the bypass has been reduced to one lane. The traffic's moving quite slowly, so for us to keep with our schedule to make sure that you're going to get to see everything on time, and for those on a strict schedule that have to be back by a certain time, we're essentially going to do this tour in reverse order. We're going to head the Newton Arch Road, we're going to make our way up to the Parliament buildings through East Belfast, and then we will come back into the city centre via bypass on the other side where there are no roads. You can see the traffic there up to the left. Folks, we'll be stuck in that for hours, so we'll just continue on here. We're going to make our way along D Street, we're going to make our way around onto the Newton Road. One advantage of doing the tour this way is you get to see another mural. That will be a mural for C.S. Lewis. That's C.S. Lewis, the writer of the Chronicles of Narnia. So as well as seeing a statue for C.S. Lewis, you'll also get to see a mural for him. And that will be coming up very soon on the left-hand side, the next street. And there you have it, folks, in the next street to the left. The writer of the Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis, was born here in East Belfast in the district of Dundela and educated in Campbell College, which is just around the corner from Dorman. You'll get to see that when we get up there. The end of the street, on this gable wall at the end of the street, you have a mural for the sinking of the Titanic. On the mural you have the shipyards, the shipyard workers, you have the Titanic and Captain Smith. He was the captain of the ship. Considering that we don't want to blame ourselves for the ship, we blame him. Sinking the Titanic is quite a tragic event in Belfast City. In saying that, the people of Belfast, we tend to have quite a black sense of humour, we tend to take absolutely nothing serious. For that reason, sinking the Titanic, it has actually become the butt of jokes. One particular joke surrounds a religious divide in the city. That joke is that while Protestants were in the shipyards building the Titanic, the Catholics were on the full road building the iceberg. We're going to take a left here, on to the Newton Road. We're going to make our way up towards the Hollywood statue of Dickory Kirk, a character from the Chronicles of Narnia, looking into the wardrobe that leads to Narnia. After that, we'll make our way to Hollywood Road and the Belmont Road up to Parliament Buildings. So to the left there, if you look to the left and up, you'll see the mural.
Just come by it.
So folks, we decided that we would leave the